Late change with Howard out. North's come on. Sensational finish to last year, as you saw. And I don't think they've won here since 1991, the Bears. Jason Taylor, of course, a former Magpie, will endeavour to take them round the park. And Tom Radonicus undoubtedly will have plans to try and shut the former Magpie half down, reduce his time. I guess there'll be plenty of bombs on the air for Matt Sears following last Friday. All in all, it will be, I'm sure, a very tense struggle. The McGuinness brothers in the centres. They will represent strike power against Butner and Caruana. Aiken from the bench. And Paul McBlain as the referee. So here we go, Friday night football. As we come down to the business end of proceedings. Soden sending Larson charging back at the Magpies. Decoy runs going off to the right of the ground before they find Brett Dallas on the flank on the left. And the Bears with first use of the football. Holding on to third spot in the Optus Cup, of course. They have the distinct chance of missing the top three if they aren't able to win tonight. And Western Suburbs, well, one fears their competition will end if they don't beat North Sydney tonight. Penalty for the Bears, and that's Big Trindle taking it up to the Magpies' 20-metre line. From Soden to the right, Taylor. Then a face pass. Oh, Fairley's ball across was forward. I don't know whether McBlain called it or the touchy got it, but it looked forward. That's the way they've called it.
Well, I think the referee was in a better position to call that one than the touchy. He did look around. No doubt it was forward. The momentum taken out. Couple of sets of 6 in a row there for the Bears. Nice way to start the game as Andrew Willis takes a difficult pass from the scrum win. Beats one. Finally taken by Jason Taylor. Centre field, 22 out and earns a penalty.
Top, second blow.
North Sydney got the better of the Magpies as we watch the cause for the penalty. They beat them decisively in round one. Beat them by 14 points, in fact. As Andrew Leeds finds the line, 40 metres out from his own goal line. And the 10 is Scandalis to the halfway now. Cherry Mesher has been suffering headache since he was concussed. That's heavy stuff from the Bears. The tackle was on Millard, and he really ran into a brick wall. This is done. McBlain's call reverberating around the ground. Langmack. There can be no excuse for not hearing him. Andrew Willis combining with Millard. Now the fifth. 32 away from the North line. Andrew Willis. His kick is high. Coming down with Leeds underneath it. Got a pass away. Billy Dunner's got it. But he's put to ground, and that's the turnover for the Bears.
Yeah, nice, well-rehearsed move there from the Magpies, with Willis putting it up from one side to the other, and some good chasing there. Actually got it back, and Leeds jumped very well, but then the good North defence held on. Brett Dallas there, a strong tackle.
David Fairley. 35 metres out from his own line. Early seconds of this crucial game in round 20 of the Optus Cup.
Very poor pass there from Mark Soden, but the signs are here for a boots and all affair tonight. Some heavy defence. Gary Larson hit already on Millard was a curler. Now Damien Kennedy takes him on. Nearly goes straight through Soden. Fairley comes up with the tackle low.
Been a good season for Damien Kennedy. Now Cherry Mesher. 9 metres away from the Bears line. And an opportunity for the Magpies. Now Andrew Willis. Taken by 3 of the North Sydney players. Trindle was there, Florimo and Soden. From McGuinness, across and through Georgialis. Langmack with players running off him. Leeds looks for his winger. Did he get it down? The number 5 is Brett Hodgson. It's been called back.
Oh, that's a great tackle from Nigel Roy. I thought maybe the North Sydney player passed a bit early, but look at the strength here from Roy. Driving him over the sideline. In fact, the West player almost lost the footy. The problem for the Magpies, Damien Kennedy has been limping since tackle 2 or 3 rucks ago. He gets across to the scrum, but he's a bit dusty. Good attack there from Western Suburbs, and tremendous defence from Roy right at the death.
Western Suburbs scrum just trying to screw this pack around. Chances always there to get it against the feed. Doesn't happen often, but more and more of them seem to be working some of the old tactics of scrummaging. Florimo in the run-on side at 5/8. Ben Eichen starts from the bench. I don't quite know what to read into that. That's Josh Stewart.
Well, I tend to think it's an indication that Peter Louis is a bit disappointed with the form of Ben Eichen. I don't believe there's an injury involved with him at all. There's a 10-metre infringement called against Western Suburbs. I just think he was looking for some enthusiasm with Danny Williams coming in and what he knew was going to be a very tough physical encounter.
Well, Ben's problem is he doesn't see enough of the football, and that's why I still believe he should be playing 5/8. The more times that he's got the football in his hands, the better for him and the North Sydney team.
Well, those comments come from his Queensland coach, Paul Vorton, as North Sydney put together an attacking raid, and Larson is pulled down. 5 metres out from the line. Taylor, then Florimo. Sears gave him a decoy, and Florimo almost derobed there by Andrew Willis. The number 4 is Caruana. Florimo adjusting his wardrobe. Stewart is put down. Mesha was underneath, done over the top. The kick is coming. Taylor, no, through the hands. And that's Danny Williams for the turnover.
Well, if they're going to run a set play on the last tackle, Danny Williams has got to know that if it breaks down, he's got to get his foot to the ball. He got up to play it, so he obviously didn't realise it was the last tackle. The second man play. They didn't have numbers there at all. Now a relieving penalty for Western Suburbs. Been quite a few in the first 6 minutes of this game.
It's been a good start for both teams to what should be a very entertaining game, but West's are buoyed by the fact that Paul Langmack's back in the team. I went down to Brookvale last Sunday to watch Manly play West, and they were just legless without him. He is, of course, their captain and inspirational leader and their guide around the park, and he's already played very well tonight in the opening stanza.
To the halfway. Dunn reaches that point after they'd gone back a few metres to come forward, and then Georgianos. Very quick supply of the ball to the outside backs. Leads us with it. 41 metres away from the North Sydney line is Siriaco Mesha. Floats a pass. It's gone through Kennedy, and Georgianos away from Millard. And Millard is in the centre of the ground. He's about 39 metres out from the North Sydney line. Both have visited the other's try line significantly once. They've come away with nothing. Now it's with Andrew of the Willis kind, and he puts it high, and good jump by Nigel Roy. Went to fullback last weekend against St George, which indicates the ability of the man under the high ball.
Well, the man with the footy now, he seems to be a man on a mission. He raced 30 metres to try and catch that footy. I think that he was probably embarrassed a little bit by his performance under the high ball against St George. And Matt Sears has shown plenty of determination and enthusiasm to get to where the ball's coming down.
David Fairley being pushed back, being shunted back. Well, 3 of them got to Fairley. He's not a tadpole. They really forced him back. Former Rothmans medal winner. Then Taylor. The kick was indicative of a kick that was put in without a great deal of time. Leeds on the first tackle is just into opposition area. Hodgson had a chance on the right-hand corner. Couldn't get it down. Mesha now away for the 16, Miller. He knows he's been tackled. Stewart hit him hard up the top. Soden went down. And then Mesha to the right. Georgianos lets Andrew Willis goes. Ken McGuinness makes the mistake as they started to look potent out wide Western Suburbs.
Steve, come out. I'll explain to you what it's for.
Penalty going to North Sydney.
You've got to stay 10 metres away from him, okay?
It's against your Jailers, you heard that. Not a bad crowd at Campbelltown as we just look at this offside ruling from the referee. And the kick. And now the tap. Taken by Roy. Doesn't have to touch the ground as opposed to, say, a line dropout or a 20-metre dropout. That is quite definitely a place kick in those circumstances, meaning that it has to be played. Then they go quickly to the right of the ground. And Buechner is out there in the centres with his knee heavily taped. Taylor goes to the 20. Stewart takes it inside that mark. And he will play it back for Soden. And Norths are looking dangerous as they go into the centre with Larson. Now they're 11 metres out. Taylor is scheming to the right. They go away from him. They choose to go to Florimo. And the Magpies clean it up. Line drop out.
Pretty good tactics from North Sydney, going away from Jason Taylor on the last tackle. Greg Florimo, the first receiver on the right-hand side of the field. He weighed things up, worked out whether the pass could be thrown, if there was a chance on, decided that it wasn't. He came up with the next best, throwing it into the in-goal area. I'll get 6 back from the restart. End-to-end stuff in this game.
It's been a beautiful day in Sydney. We've had low 20s, no wind. And I don't think Steve's getting blown about down there at the moment. We'll go to him in a moment. Fairly. Just inside the 30-metre line. Soden got a bad play the ball. Florimo, short ball, Trindle. No wind down there, Steve, is there?
No, very still at the moment, Ray, but there's plenty of energy being expended from both sides. Both forward packs really ripping into each other at the moment.
Williams and Trindle. Trindle for Taylor. Good hands by Taylor. Then Stewart. Stewart is 9 out. Upright in front of him. Soden to the right. Taylor's there. He's on the run around with Florimo. Now Fairley's dangerous. Buechner puts it over. Was there a forward pass? Buechner will be given the try. He points to the spot. And the Bears, they take first points.
And it's only Michael Buechner's second touch of the football, but it's a try. And there is some doubt on the last pass. The run around involving Jason Taylor. David Fairley goes through the low tackle, and that's the doubtful pass. Problem there was Kevin McGuinness going low on the big man, allowed him to get the pass away.
Oh, Pete, this pass is dead set forward, no doubt about it. And I can't believe they've missed that. The in-goal boy, the touch judge and the referee. Not a bad move, and West seemingly had the numbers there in defence. But the problem was that Fairley's a good runner of the football. McGuinness is only a little chap, and he got on the outside of him and was able to offload that pass, which dead set looked forward.
I don't think too many people would disagree with Paul. When I first saw it in the call, I was sure it was a forward pass. The replays seemed to verify that. 22 metres out. 8 metres in from touch for Taylor. From in front of the Hill crowd at Campbelltown. He knows every blade of grass and every angle. There's no breeze to contend with, and he puts it over. We go to a break with North Sydney leading the Magpies 6-0 after 12 minutes. Andrew leads then. Starting us off again, North Sydney taking first points. Been a long time, hasn't it? And our statistician, of course, is the number one in the business. He tells me they haven't won here since 1991. They're here to try and rectify an embarrassing record. Now Buechner got the try and then makes a good run. Soden quickly away from dummy half. Trindle on for Florimo. Florimo, the kick. He's looking for, down the left flank, Nigel Roy. It's a foot race. And Nigel Roy couldn't quite get there in time.
Well, maybe this is the reason that we're seeing Ben Eichen on the bench. The fact that Greg Florimo is getting in and doing plenty of work close to the ruck, kicking the football acting as first receiver, the other side to Taylor, taking a little bit of pressure off his captain. It's a pretty good kick, this one. Nigel Roy, who's had a very bright start to the game, just couldn't keep the ball in play. Millard leaving the field. He's worked very hard in the opening minutes for Western Suburbs. Came up with 5 hit-ups. And Steve Trindle and Josh Stewart doing a good job for the Bears.
West are bringing the ball off their own line. They're trailing 6-0. Let's have a look at the run home for both these sides. Just to give you an idea of the enormity of the task. The Magpies are at home to Illawarra, and that's a toss of the coin. South Queensland away. Hold the phone.
Oh, he's been hammered here. Over the top. Oh, he's on.
Well, McLean was in no doubt whatsoever. He's gone very quickly, Josh Stewart. The player has not moved. I'm quite sure which Western Suburbs man it is. Well, it's the new man, McMenemy. Swinging arm over the top, the right-hand swinging arm. It's him fairly flush.
Oh. Well, Josh Stewart is off.
There's not much to say about it, is there?
No, there's not.
It was blatant, it was high, and that player is still in a lot of trouble.
There is no cause for looking at it one way, looking at the other, because just one shot was enough to suggest to you that it was a send-off offence. And though Stewart is much shorter than the average front row forward, he's taken aim, he's let go, he's got him with the forearm, and McMenemy cannot get up.
And the man carrying the football forward did not fall into the tackle at all either. I just had a look to see whether there was any hint of that. Didn't appear so. Stewart's just got him very high. Definite, distinct swinging arm. And the referee's got this one right.
Well, that changes the equation again, doesn't it? 6-0 North Sydney after 15. And now the Magpies will be playing against 12 men. Now they want him out of there.
Well, he's keen to stay on, and having been in that situation you are, but it's better that he does come off and just have a little rest, put a fresh player back on there. It was interesting, that slow-mo shot, to watch the reaction of all the players' faces, wasn't it? The North players in disbelief, the West players just a hint of excitement when Stewart did get sent off.
He's only made 4 appearances off the bench this year. Shane McMenemy, and there is the send-off offence on Josh Stewart. He slammed him across the mouth. And he has been sent off without hesitation by Paul McLean. One thing I'll say about McLean, and I mean the pictures have shown it. He didn't invite touch judges to get involved. He just basically acted on what he saw, and he was the best place to do that. Done now. The Magpies fired up, I would imagine, by a high shot on one of their younger players, Miller. 38 metres out centre of the ground, Mesher across, and then Georgialis. A good run by Georgialis. It's ended down on the 20-metre line. Now Mesher back to the right. Billy Dunn can't get enough work. Somebody stop it. Dunn is 11 metres out from the line. Stop laughing. It's away now to Andrew Willis. Puts the kick in. Tim McGuinness. Up they go, and it's going to go back to the 20-metre line for the restart.
Well, Tommy Rodonicus obviously seen the tape of last week's game, and he wants the ball to go high to Sears all night so they can try and out-jump him. And Ken McGuinness can get very high, which he did on that occasion. Just couldn't get to the football, though. Well done, Matt Sears, getting up off the ground, and Nigel Roy was there as well.
Dallas, and now it's with Larson, and the Bears are out to the halfway line. They've got a very big job in front of them. Reduced to 12 men with the send-off at the 15th minute. Josh Stewart sent off by referee Paul McGlade.
And Darren Capavilla coming to the sideline in jersey 27. Western Suburbs They've got to remain patient as Butner puts up a high kick, an easy take for Andrew Leach, no pressure. The Western Suburbs, they can't think that they've got an advantage in this game. They've really got to forget that the opponents are one short and just continue with their game plan, not try and go too wide too early. And over a period of time, over the next 60 minutes, the fact that there is a player short, it will work itself out. It will tell in the North Sydney performance.
Steve Waite on the sidelines.
Well, Mark Soden has just brought himself off. He's got a hamstring injury, so I don't know if he'll be back. He's just rushed into the dressing shirt, so more bad news for North Sydney.
Georgiana's then sweeping down the left and then angling back as Kevin McGuinness. Andrew Willis supports and takes it beyond the 40-metre line. I'll get back to that important information about who these clubs play in the run down the hill to the semi-finals. We've looked at Western Suburbs. They play Illawarra. Let's go to the Bears and have a look at what they've got to do. South Queensland and Sydney City. So this match is just so important. And North Sydney, of course, have got the problem of beating Newcastle across the line. And it could well come down to percentages. And that's certainly very much in the balance as well.
Well, another penalty here, and that's the 7th of the game. Inside the 10. And as we saw last week against St George, David Hall comes off the bench and into the hooking roll, dummy half roll. The other thing that North Sydney must try and do tonight with a player down is have as much possession as they possibly can. Must minimise their mistakes and really go in at half-time with a major share of the possession.
4th penalty of the night to the Bears, 3 against Western Suburbs. Capavilla is on. Williams makes a half break. That's David Hall in 14. 25 away from the west line. Larson for Taylor. Taylor comes back. David Hall is there. In the centre. He finds Matt Sears. Now they're 15 out from the line. Hall again on the right for Taylor. Away to the right again for Florimo. And Florimo stands and unloads for Butner. Butner's got it behind the back. Now that is a Magpie ball. Oh, Dallas came in. He couldn't nail McGuinness. Darren Willis then, away from the 20-metre line.
It was a very good decision from Brett Dallas to come in, because if he hadn't, it was 3-on-1.
This is Capavilla. 27, yes, Dallas it was, who read the play, and he left his right wing and angled in. He realised that he had to come away and come in, leave the left of the ground unguarded. Billy Dunn. Of metres from the halfway line. North leading 6-0, but they've lost a player. Sent off. Josh Stewart at the 15th minute. Andrew Willis across for Darren. Darren taken on by Brett Dallas on the far side of the ground. And, of course, by Michael Butner wearing number 6, playing in the centres. Then the kick from Georgianas. It's high, and they keep on peppering young Sears. Who did that come off? Now it's back. And with Nigel Roy, but the referee is about to put the turnover on.
It came off one of the Western Suburbs players' shoulders, and it's been ruled a knock forward by McBlain. Hodgson is the man to watch. It's come off his back, actually.
Whitmer scored the try for North Sydney. David Fairley. 40-metre line. 6-0 North Sydney. Butner got the try. Taylor converted from a wide angle as David Hall plays the ball back for Florimo, who's playing 5/8 if you just joined us. They didn't use Ben Eichen in the run-on team, and Eichen undoubtedly will be into the game shortly as Taylor puts a grubbing kick down into the corner behind Andrew Leach, behind Darren Willis. We'll come back to the 10-metre line. There's Eichen on the bench.
Well, the other bench player, along with David Hall, Brenton Pomeroy, is coming to the game. So too Desi Hasler.
Des Hasler going out there for the Magpies, taking the place of Bill Dunn, who really has toiled out there.
Also has his co-prop in John Scandalis. No Harvey Howard tonight. The onus is on Dunn and Scandalis to do the job for Western. They're doing very well at this stage.
Both of these teams disappointing last weekend, I'm sure you'd agree. Magpies against Manly. Manly gave them a proper whacking. And North Sydney, well, we've talked about that. Beaten by St George, and that is against Butner.
If you're going to be there, you're going to mark square.
Yeah, he's saying to Michael Butner, stay in front of the man playing the ball if you want to be the marker. Don't stand indirect to the play of the ball. See how he is standing off to the right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a fairly tough call.
Okay. What's wrong with Mark Soden, Steve Roach?
Yeah, there's news from the sheds that he's a bad hamstring injury and he's unlikely to return to the Bears.
Gee, that's a big blow, Steve, because Soden is one of the best dummy half runners in the game. Scandalis. Oh! He put on a sidestep and got the shock of his life when it carried him through. Then, oh, there's a punch-up on him back play. Matt Sears taking on Scandalis. Give him a sanity check. Now Ken McGuinness is pulled down. 29 metres out from the Bears line. Here's Hodgson. Infield ball picked up by McGuinness. Well, he's just come back from an altercation on the far side of the ground. Now a penalty goes to West. And McBlain wants to talk to one of the Bears.
Stuff going on everywhere, and I'm glad that that little set two wasn't pulled up. It was play on. Matty Sears started throwing punches at the front rower.
Come back when you go to the bin. For one, don't think that for starters. All right? When you've got the hands in the play the ball, just get them out.
Well, the penalty goes against Brenton Pomeroy. And West taking the tap, and Capavilla takes it to where they want to get on the first. They come back. Miller. Florimo combines to make the tackle with Pomeroy. Measure to the left. Jajalis, a leaping. Langmack leads. His pass was knocked down, I think, by North Sydney. Jajalis. 6 more. 3 metres inside the 20. Measured away. Andrew Willis with it. Shaping the kick. Given time. 2-on-1. And it's over the touchline. Whichever way you look at it, the Bears have got out of it cheaply. We will take a break at the 24th with the Bears in front, 1 man down. We are back at Campbelltown. Thank you for joining us. Western Suburbs with the feed and the loose head. Lead. Held down as long as possible by Matt Sears. North are looking like they might buckle. Hasler. He will play it on the 10 metres line. From Mesha. Georgialis sending Kennedy up the centre. Running into Pomeroy. Mesha again, comes out a couple of paces, then Georgialis, now away for Langmack. Langmack a thick pass, Dunner's back on, and he's held by Florimo, and Florimo really making a lot of tackles, blocking up the middle. Georgialis, a long ball, Andrew Willis, Kevin McGuinness, he's had the ball raked away, and referee McLean has ordered a knock on.
Well, there's a chance there for the west side down that right-hand side of the North's defence. What they need is some straight, hard running. Lots of decoys out there and some cutout passes being thrown, but they've had the numbers a couple of times. They just virtually need the ball to go through the hands.
Just watching that replay, I thought maybe he would call play on. But I think McLean got it right. Kevin McGuinness contributed to the losing of the ball as much as the North Sydney player in defence. I thought there might have been a hand in there raking it out. This is Butner. Try scorer for the Bears. 26 minutes gone. They're playing with 12. Everybody has to chip in a few more percentage points. Oh, goodness. Pomeroy's head went rocking back. Capavilla was the tackler. And they both got up and said, where do we go from here? To the right. Florimo is over there, putting a kick down the ground. Leeds is after it. He'll watch it and lets it go. Well, this man, Pomeroy, I thought we were about to see two players out cold. He comes at Capavella and then bang! And thankfully there was no head clash. But it was a big confrontation.
He leaves nothing in the kit bag, does he? Pomeroy, when he takes the ball up, it's good to see. Now Eichen gets a chance. I'm just wondering where he'll play, whether it's centres or 5'8". He's into the centres.
27th minute. Kennedy. He plays it hard. Proving to be a very good player for the Magpies. Boosted, of course, by the re-signing of Ken McGuinness. Ken McGuinness made a fairly simple statement. He could have got more money elsewhere, but he prefers to play at home, where he likes it most. Hasler across. Got rid of Fairley. Exhibition of strength by Hasler. Now the last. Ken McGuinness getting lost there. Andrew Willis. Big kick. Sears is on the run across to the right. Comes over his own 20. Heads outside the 30. And in fact, it's a long run by Matt Sears, ending just short of the halfway line. Eichen. Paul. He'll be there for the remainder of the night, we're led to believe. Hamstring injury for Mark Soden. Josh Stewart sent off. Ooh, fairly copping the shoulder of Langmack. There's been some big hits here in the Campbelltown Stadium match tonight.
Yeah, that one's shortened up fairly as well. As a little chip for Dallas. It will bounce. Leeds is there and cleans it up beautifully.
Turns it inside for Kevin McGuinness. Taylor's around the leg.
Fairly still on the ground now, just getting to his feet to get back in line.
That was the hit from Langmack. Capavella, a little juggle. Dan Williams makes the tackle. Fairly, still a look of pain on the face. Got a dent in his stomach from Langmack's tackle. It was a real big hit. Darren Willis did well. Billy Dunn. Couple of metres into North's area. They still haven't been able to put points on the board. Kennedy. 40-metre line. Playing it back for Georgianos. Hasler runs at them. Kevin McGuinness angles back. Newton is there to pull him down. Now the last. Will they go to the air again? Andrew Willis. Short ball for Kennedy. Then...
No, listen to me. Listen, he come off your player's arm, went forward first, then come back off the North. Went forward off the pass.
Okay, so he's saying the pass from the Western Suburbs player was forward. That ball there, he is saying was forward. Steve Roach on the sidelines, have you been able to check on young McMenemy, who was on the end of the Josh Stewart tackle that got him sent off?
Yes, we have. We're just spoken to the doctor, the Western Suburbs doctor. He was keen to come back out, but they won't allow him to, so he will not take any further part in the game.
Well, there's a forward pass here. It's been pulled back, and Norths have done well so far to hang on since they've had 12 men, but for how long can they hang on?
So they win the scrum, the Magpies. Hasler comes down a wide blindside. He will play it on the 20-metre line. Hodgson is the dummy half. The ball carrier is Kennedy. The 10-metre line just in front of them. Is this the moment in the game where... No, it's not. Scandalis. He couldn't handle it. They had plenty of time to put the move together. And it broke down at the hands of Scandalis. Pomeroy. Here's the replay. Dummied once and then Scandalis unable to hold it. North then, having given West an opportunity with their own inability to handle are out to the halfway line. As Taylor holds it back fairly, would have been on the end of another tackle from Langmack. Caruana's pass, finding Sears. He puts in a kick that's gone out on the full. So it'll come back to about the 40-metre line, where West will have the loose head and feed.
And it may not be long before Matt Sears is dispensed to the blood bin. He's got a little bit of a nick under the left eye. And North Sydney starting to give Western Suburbs a few opportunities, although the last time the Magpies were down the other end, they frittered it away. But a forward pass from dummy half, a poor kick, these are things that you just can't afford to come up with when you've got 12 men on the paddock.
Played by Scandalis. And it is Mesha. Just outside the North Sydney 40-metre line. Played it back for Georgialis. On the right is Andrew Willis. Then Andrew leads. Then a pass that goes astray. Hodgson did well. Got it back. They're going backwards. Billy Dunn then straightens it up. And he's picked up and driven by Florimo. Mesha's pass. Andrew Willis, Paul Langmack. Inside ball for Des Hasler. He's running around looking for somebody. Scandalis floats it. Torpedo pass. Ken McGuinness finds Hodgson. And he's put down 35 metres out from the North Sydney line. Playing it back for Georgialis again. Then Andrew Willis. Then Langmack. And Langmack, the ball has come to ground. And it will be a knock-on as we go to a break. 33rd minute. 6-0 the Bears over the Magpies. So the scrum with Gary Larson coming off and Steve Trindle going back into the game. Larson actually not leading the tackle count.
Lots of passing by the West team, Peter, isn't there? But not enough go forward for mine. They are. I know the two props there tonight are doing a good job, but no Harvey Howard, and he always gets them 10 or 15, and they are missing him tonight.
I think Steve Roach agrees with you, Paul.
Yeah, a lot of sideways movement from Western Suburbs when they do have the football, but I think it's imperative.
Numbers on the left, Stephen. Florimo tries to bust them and then goes to ground 30 metres out from the West line. Back on the right, Sears, Taylor, Fairley, the runaround, Butner gets it away for Sears, and Sears is tackled 11 metres out from the line. This is the last. Dummy half was David Fairley or Trindle. Taylor, Florimo! 1 metre from the line, and that's where they bring him to a halt. The turnover.
Hey, you all right down there, Blocky?
It's a great game of football, isn't it? Really enjoying this one. Scandalis is an outstanding performance, as Fatty mentioned a little bit earlier, but this Western Suburbs side, as you said, too much sideways movement. They've got to have a little bit more go forward.
Kevin McGuinness now. Half time, about 5 minutes away. Scandalis, and dragging down around the legs was Ben Eichen. Georgialis got away from dummy half and a quick play the ball. 38 metres out from his own line. Darren Willis, like lightning away from dummy half. Playing it on the halfway. Andrew Willis puts the kick in. The chase is not all that great. And Nigel Roy is back there in the end goal, but he's got 20 metres almost between him and the defence. So as we draw to half-time, players tiring. Dallas. Bill Dunn takes him underneath. Darren Willis over the top. Hall. Larson wasn't off very long. Trindle. They keep coming down the blind side, trying to outnumber Western Suburbs, which is going to be difficult. Roy's pass, finding Taylor. Taylor away for Fairley. Fairley's looking for Butner. Finds him. Dallas is with him. He's looking to come inside. The ball goes forward. That's the advantage to Western Suburbs. Kevin McGuinness slow to rise in the back play. What would be worrying Tom Rodonicus is that they haven't been able to bust them. Even given they've got 13 against 12, they haven't been able to puncture them.
The message at half-time will undoubtedly be to be patient. It will happen. Fatigue will become a factor in this North Sydney defence. The holes will appear. We just can't manufacture them. We've got to wait and have confidence in your attacking ability to take advantage of them when they do present themselves.
It's a beautiful take by Andrew Leeds off a Paul Langmack pass. And here's Andrew Willis, able to unload. Hasler, wishing he was about 5 years younger. Couldn't get the speed off the mark. Then Andrew Willis again. This kick. Hodgson looking to bat it down, but Nigel Roy, he has been superb under the high kick.
Well, I am surprised. I don't think that they have been directing the kicks towards Matt Sears tonight. And Nigel Roy, as you pointed out, has done a great job on probably 4 or 5 occasions tonight. They're not going centre field to Sears, they're going across to Roy, and it's not paying dividends.
Dallas now. Trindle, able to wedge it out towards the 40-metre line. Larson. Mesher underneath. Langmack. Langmack is working tirelessly in defence tonight. I think his main job is to take them round the park. Ball player that he is. Great organiser. But he's pulled off some very big tackles tonight, Paul Langmack.
I think that's been the feature of the first 37.5 minutes of this game. Some enormous one-on-one defence, some big hitting from both teams. Obviously realised that these kind of games are won by some domination up front, and they're looking to exert their superiority. It was a good kick from Jason Taylor there, just winding the clock down to half-time. They didn't want the ball in play for any longer than it needed to be. And I'll be pretty satisfied with their effort. Go in 6 in front after playing bulk of this first half, 1 man short.
Here's the young winger on the right of the ground, Hodgson. Mesher, and now Ken McGuinness. Even with the speed the brothers McGuinness have, they haven't been able to really worry North Sydney. And as Peter said, they must be patient and wait, and hoping that stamina will eventually take its toll on North Sydney. But till now, they've been out there for about 23 minutes, 1 man down, the Bears, and they haven't really looked as though they've been threatened. Here's Kevin McGuinness now, beating a couple of the big forwards. Very elusive. 45 metres out from the North Sydney line. Andrew Willis. Kennedy back inside for Andrew Willis, and then Georgialis. Hasler thought he had it, then he took it out of his hands. Georgialis, as you saw, went backwards. Now it's away, out wide, but they're going backwards, the Magpies. Leeds puts in a kick. And the winger, Nigel Roy, again confronted by the Magpies' defence.
Well, there it is again, plenty of passing and no one running forward, and just not standing deep enough when the ball is going wide. That they seem to be intent on coming up with a big play every time they go out wide, instead of just maybe putting it through the hands, changing an angle out there.
David Hall. Caruana. Almost to the half-time break. 6 points to 0. The Bears in front of the Magpies. A try by Michael Buettner, converted by Jason Taylor. And then Josh Stewart was sent off. As the Bears come down the left of the ground, the tackle takes us to half-time. And we will break and be back at the Campbelltown Sports Ground in just a moment with North Sydney, a 6-point leader over Western Suburbs. Welcome back. We're at Campbelltown Stadium. We're watching a good game of football. North Sydney over Western Suburbs 6-0. And their try came reasonably early to Michael Buettner. And that was in front of the send-off of the North Sydney prop forward, Josh Stewart. Been a game of very strong defence. And let's have a look at the statistics that we've got on the first half.
And you can tell that we are getting close to the playoffs. Players are ripping in, and that's an important statistic, the top one, the time in possession for the Bears. They need to maintain that in the second 40 minutes. Make sure they have the ascendancy there. A couple of line breaks for each team. Not much difference between the tackles and the missed tackles, and the handling errors have been very good as well. Only 11 in a match where a lot of ball movement is very evident. And not much between them statistically, but the one thing that the Bears must do in the second half is have more possession than their opponents.
And the other significant point to come out of the first half was Mark Soden, taken from the field with apparently a badly torn hamstring, and he won't be back for the night, so we're told by the sideline. As we go into the second half now, the Bears from left to right, and Western Suburbs have not really made a significant break on North Sydney, even allowing for the fact they've played with 13 against 12 for 25 minutes of the first half. Mesher it is, trying to play the ball, and McGlane puts a penalty on them.
Just get out.
Well, I'll be very interested to hear what Tom Radonicus had to say to his team at half-time. A different situation to normal when you go in and you're trying to direct your team to take on an opposition with a player short. Important instructions, but different to what he would normally be passing on, you would imagine.
Georgialis sweeping it across on the left of the ground, picking up Scandalis, the front rower, out wide. Now Bill Dunn. One would imagine that Tom would be talking about, let's keep it a bit simpler. Let's go forward with the big men. Lay a foundation before we try to do something too fancy.
Well, you're probably right. It probably will be very similar to what he normally does say to him, I suppose. But
whether they do it or not. Miller plays the ball. Mesher comes back for Andrew Willis to find Langmack. He probes back into the centre. I thought there was a forward pass. Langmack to Leeds, looked forward, and it was assessed that way by referee Paul McGlade. Steve Roach on the sideline, what were you able to find out at half-time?
Well, firstly, I'll tell you about the intensity of the game. There's plenty of players from both sides carrying plenty of injuries at the moment. For North Sydney...
Against the feed, Steve, come back to you. Georgialis pulled down about 18 metres away from the North Sydney line. You'd almost think we do it on purpose. I'm sorry, big fella. Here's Kennedy, and he's 8 metres away from the line now. 6-0 in favour of the Bears. A chance for the Magpies to the corner. He's over. Hodgson is in. McLean will give it. Yes, Hodgson has scored wide out. So Western Suburbs have finally cracked the Bears.
And it came through a scrum win against the feed. You've got to say sloppy work from North, but tremendous reaction there from the Western Suburbs pack to see that there was a chance to rake it back. And the important thing here is the ball's played, and we freeze it there. You can see that there are 3 North Sydney players involved in the tackle, and that leaves very little defence out wide. That's the try scorer, Hodgson. He's got plenty of space as play continues. So the fact that there were so many around to play the ball, that brought Brett Dallas, or in fact Nigel Roy, way in. And Hodgson, he made it look easy in the end, but look at the troops that North Sydney had close to the action.
There's a great strike in the scrum from Terry Mesher, which just virtually took the ball out of the North Sydney second row. And then the other good thing was Hodgson. They were standing still. He just stood up, Roy, and got around him in a very brief space. So the west side, they finally get the try they looked for in the first half.
So the 19-year-old Brett Hodgson.
How good is blocker though, honestly? He's a genius, champion.
He can score a try from anywhere. We'll come back to you, Steve, right on top of this goal kick. He's still down there holding the Nokia. Here's Leeds. 22 out, strikes it, and just to the left of the uprights. 6-4, the Bears holding on to a slender lead.
I hope it's a Nokia.
And that was the win against the feed. Keep in mind, the Bears have only got a 5-man pack, and West took advantage of that.
As Paul pointed out, it was Suriako Mesher who came up with the solitary strike. Hodgson took advantage of it 2 rucks later.
Now Steve Roach on the sideline.
Yeah, well, North Sydney, their coach Peter Louis told them to concentrate. They've got to have extra concentration when they've got possession. They must complete their sets with a man down. He asked every player to lift 10% and they will get away with this game. He also said to try and weather the storm in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Obviously, they didn't really listen to the instructions. For Tommy Riodonikis, he thought it was a good effort in the first half. He said, just watch your inside defence when the ball leaves you, just keep alive. He spoke to the West halves at half-time and saying that he wanted to see the McGuinness brothers get a lot more football, so expect that in the second half. He said lift the pace, Norths are on the back foot and more go forward. So Western Suburbs on fire at the moment.
All right, Steve, thank you for that. This kick has got Western Suburbs coming quickly behind Dallas. Darren Willis was the chaser. Two of the fastest men in the game, Brett Dallas and Darren Willis.
And we've all in the box been very impressed tonight with Andrew Willis's kicking game. He's varied it, some little ones, some crossfield ones, and some driving kicks, and this one was a beauty. Well placed, and a good chase there from Darren Willis.
So line drop out time. Important game. Western Suburbs battling to make the 7. North Sydney equally to be in the top 3. Taylor's kick, not a lot of depth for Jason Taylor. Georgialis will reach the 30-metre line easily. First tackle, 29 out. Kevin McGuinness. And this is Millard. Millard wedging back behind to play the ball. Tackled by Trindle and Aiken. Mesha finding Scandalis, then running around to pick up Kennedy. And Kennedy is right in the centre of the ground on the 20-metre line. Again from Mesha to the right. Georgialis finding Langmack. Langmack takes them on himself. 11 out from the line. Still a couple remaining. Ken McGuinness and Andrew Leeds. 5 gone. Leeds on the far right of the ground. Ken McGuinness. A running Andrew Willis. Millard. Scandalis. He's left it behind him.
Oh, a big chance there for the Magpies. They had the overlap. 2 men on the outside of Scandalis, but some desperate North defence. They've hung on here. Good ball from Millard. Dallas and Butner were the last North defenders, and McGuinness and Willis were outside, unmarked.
One of the problems that Wests are having, and Peter, you might disagree, and I would hope that you do if you feel that way, but the wrong people seem to be getting the ball too often from the dummy half with Western Suburbs. It's putting a jolting effect on the attack.
Yeah, I disagree.
Thank you.
So do I.
Here's Trindle making a break for the Bears. Look at the big fella go! Like a big Melbourne cupper. Got it away. David Hall. Oh, Langmack has spoilt the party. Pull back the invitation.
It was Kingston Town and Gurner's Lane. Gurner's Lane up on the inside.
Darren Willis.
Hello, Malcolm.
Here he is. Look at the big fella go.
Oh, well, he's got to turn the pace too.
Has he? What?
Summed it up pretty well. And then David Hall, the last person he expected to appear was Paul Langmack.
Oh, gee, I tell you what, Norths, their aspirations were high. But remind ourselves when next Steve Trindle breaks into the clear, don't send a front row forward after him. Scandalis playing the ball back for Mesha. And then for Andrew Willis. He puts it between the winger and the full back. Nigel Roy and Matt Sears. McGuinness makes the tackle. They're back inside their 10-metre line. And Caruana's had that thigh heavily bandaged at half-time. He was making the point in the first half that it was a fairly subdued half of football for Caruana. Fairly. Now, it's play on. One-on-one apparently. Ken McGuinness, oh, that's a shocker. He's throwing it over the sideline on the first tackle. Oh, have a look at this. They come up with the football. The referee gives them the advantage. And poor old Hodgson, he had no hope with it. And Ken McGuinness knows it.
Well, I would imagine that the Illawarra players, the Gold Coast, Balmain and quite possibly the St George players are all sitting at home cheering on North Sydney in this game because they would love Western Suburbs to drop 2 competition points here.
The Bears. Oh, Lakins put it down. McGuinness. A scooping pass for Darren Willis and Trindle hits him. Halfway line. Capavilla. 41 metres away from the North Sydney line. Through from Georgialis. Langmack. Kennedy. 30-metre line. Back for Georgialis again. Now they come on the left. Scandalis. 23 metres out. They're down by 2, the Magpies. Down the centre measure. To the right for Langmack. Promotes for Leeds. Leeds flops it over. And Hodgson can't get a clean catch on it.
Well, Wests are playing extremely good football. They're finding some space out wide now because they're going forward. Leeds does very well. Throws a dummy, then in and away. And Hodgson just had to catch it. There's a chance for him to score a try. There was some North defence here, though.
Sorry, Paul. Excellent work there from Andrew Leeds, wasn't it? He wrong-footed Chris Caruana.
10 metres away from the North Sydney line. Nigel Roy with the Bears clinging on to a 2-point lead. 51 minutes gone in the game. If they're able to win, it will go down as one of the gutsiest, most courageous efforts from North Sydney ever. Fairly.
You get the feeling, Ray, that they've got to score again to win this one. I don't think they can win 6-4. They've somehow got to get across the line and extend a lead and force the opponents to probably score twice more. That's Florimo nearly bursting straight through the middle of the ruck.
And dragging around his legs was Billy Dunn. Taylor starting to run with the football. He's got a line of defence in front of him. Kicks on the outside. A chance here, but no. Darren Willis and Brett Dallas, they're having a real duel out there.
Oh, smart play there from Jason Taylor. Norths have been attacking back on the inside all night. They've virtually played right up the middle of the West ruck, inside balls and some angles, and Taylor finds a huge gap there, some poor defence, and then he sees Dallas about 40 yards away, drifting out wide, tried to utilise his speed. Willis is there.
Langmack.
Taken by Mark Reber on in 26.
Measure. Cross pass to Capavilla. Just on the 40-metre line, his own end of the ground. The kick for Andrew Willis. His kicking game has had a lot of purpose and a lot of depth about it. It's found North Sydney on the kick return, starting from inside their own 10-metre line most often. Icon. 30 out from his own line. Reba. Nigel Roy. Still North Sydney have matched it with Western Suburbs. In fact, as far as clean breaks are concerned, they've probably made more than the Magpies. Florimo just into enemy territory. Taylor lets a forward run. Butner tries to break. He's put away on the 40 metres, centre of the ground. 6-4 North Sydney. Taylor again kicking. Hodgson turned around and having to recover. A knock backwards and then a run down the right flank. The young 19-year-old winger. And he's put down 5 metres back into North Sydney's area. Messer. That is Capavilla. Georgialis. Willis. Double pumping it. Nearly an obstruction. 29 metres from the North Sydney line. Georgialis. Scandalis. Mesha. Through again from Georgialis, finding Langback. Flicks it out the back, Capavilla. Georgianis. Weaving, probing. Ah, Kevin McGuinness, he's over! Kevin McGuinness has finally broken them. It's 8-6. The black and whites over the Bears.
And go back 4 or 5 tackles to the run from Brett Hodgson. Looked like he made a mistake. He came up with good field position. Out of the right-hand side, Langmack flicks the ball out. So does Capavilla. He's had a blinder since coming off the bench. As they come across field, and we freeze it there. You can see by coming across, these defenders on the inside, they drop off. And that's where this man here, the try scorer, is going to come back inside. His play continues. There he is, one-on-one with Gary Larson, and he was always going to have the footwork to beat him. But that's the angle that Paul was talking about in the first half, going across, simple play, but it was set up by some fancy work from their forwards early on.
Nice play from Steve Georgialis. When he decides to run the football, he's a very dangerous player, and he's weaved some magic here, and McGuinness just stood up Gary Larson, and this tackle count starting to tell against North Sydney now. They've had to do a lot of defence in the second half.
Now the conversion from close proximity, Leeds doesn't miss them. So 4 becomes 6, and the Magpies now concede the lead. They're in front by 4 at the 55th. And we welcome you back. Somebody said, I don't know who it was, multiculturalism doesn't work. I was thinking as I was calling, here's another bust by the Magpies from the kickoff, and a long run by Darren Willis. Kevin McGuinness into acting half. To the right they go. They'll spread it or they short, mesh out, takes a run himself. Inside the 40-metre line, they had Norths on the back pedal. They needed a push of the ball to the right, quickly to the extremity. Now it is Kennedy, 30-metre line. Magpies looking to really hammer home the advantage. Penalty to them.
Very smart dummy half work from Chiriako Mesha, the first to be called. He saw that the North Sydney player hadn't got back the required distance. He ran straight at him. North's player, he obliged. He couldn't control himself. Made the tackle. And now a chance for Andrew Lees to extend it to a converted try. Darren Willis, he just busted him straight away. Have a look at the number 16 if we do see it from North Sydney. He comes off from the sideline and runs on. That number 16.
Danny Williams.
He's come from outside the field to play. There must have been a replacement made. He's come on. Fortunately, didn't need to make the tackle. There you saw Mesha milking the penalty against Reaver.
I was going to make the point about multiculturalism. Gee, it worked at the Magpies, obviously. Capavilla, Mesha, Georgianis. And so it went on. Scandalis. The McGuinness brothers. It's working fine out here. Leeds. And again. 2 more points. 12-6. A converted try in front. 57.
Well, as we pointed out at the beginning of the telecast tonight, last year's game was one of the most exciting ones we saw in 1996. Andrew Willis kicked a field goal in the dying seconds. Maybe a field goal is foremost in their minds at the moment again to put them 7 clear. That might be just enough to break the spirit of their opponents tonight.
So West bringing it back. And there's no doubt they'll be looking to extend that to 7 points. First time they visit. Scandal.
He's got some big block on the sideline. He loves this game tonight. He'd love to be out there, the champion.
Billy Dunn. Talking about male bonding, I think you are taking it a tad too far. You're sitting up here waving to block him.
He's a bloke. But that, when Willis made that break, that's the North's defence. That was just, you cannot afford to miss tackles like that. You've got 2 blokes on 1 West player, and they just both went very ordinary there.
Andrew Willis has been one of the stars. Of course, he was the match winner here in the corresponding game last year when he potted that 45-metre field goal.
And it's been a good return for him to the top grade as well in the last couple of weeks. Of course, he's had to contend with Doyle at 5'8". for a lot of the season, but it's a nice performance. Oh, big hit coming in there from Mesha. He might have just cemented that spot for himself coming into the finals. Mesha and Williams looking to go at it.
You mentioned Adam Doyle there. On some of the performances we've seen from him, Peter, and I know he's back in the lower grade, but you'd think there'd be a space for both of them, because he has turned in some good performances this year. Taylor's kick, centre of the ground, bouncing around Andrew Leeds. A lot of time to bring it back, but that's only to be expected with the Bears, I suppose. Everybody's had to increase their work rates. Repeating, they lost at the 15th minute. Josh Stewart sent off. 30-metre line. 12-6, West over North. Scandalis. He doesn't mind it the way it is tonight. Rolling the sleeves up. Getting the hands dirty. Andrew Willis. Cool, calm. A collected game from the young man. Been at Western Suburbs. Young Andrew, there he is on camera. Thinks about 91, 92. In fact, played with Jason Taylor. Penalty goes to the Bears. This will help them a little bit.
Some good quick play the ball there from North Sydney. Damien Kennedy ruled to have hung on to the foot of the man getting up to play it. Well, I didn't see it. He didn't make a lot of effort to get out, but I thought that he was far enough away not to be impeding the man playing the footy anyway, so a tough call against Kennedy.
So it's not beyond the Bears. They are pushing it uphill, but it's not an impossibility. Taylor behind Trindle, finding Williams. Then able to get it away. I don't know how, but he did. David Hall. 21 metres out, centre of the ground. Good chance here, but he can't get up.
Damien Kennedy has come across and cleaned him up over the top, and I think that's the one that's done the damage.
Oh, yeah, she's a big swinging arm. I don't know if it connected or not from Kennedy. Here it comes. It did connect a little bit. And he stayed down, Hall, maybe looking for a penalty. He won't get one.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's had the wind knocked out of him. The way he was lying, he was side on, and Big Kennedy's come down on top of him. Could be a pretty lonely feeling when you've got no oxygen in the lungs. Okay, Paul. They do get a bit emotional, some of these young referees.
He sent them all back. He turned to have a look at North Sydney and they all snuck up a couple of metres.
12 metres out from the west line. North's behind by 6. Taylor! Oh, Trindle was standing there begging. See it. Newton's pass. Oh, Danny Williams got backwards. But McBlain is ordering the knock-on.
A North player staring in disbelief that he found a knock-on in this one. Long ball from Butner. No knock-on yet.
And there won't be one.
No, that's unbelievable. And he's had a pretty good game tonight too, McBlain.
Millard goes back. Shane Millard in 16. Indirectly took the place of Harvey Howard, isn't it? Just inside their own 20-metre line, Des Hasler. Millard now. Third last weekend before the 7-team quarterfinals of the ARL. And these sides, West, as I said, trying to make it. North's hoping to hang on to the top 3. Their pressure will come from Newcastle. Wests are in a real dogfight.
Well, a win tonight for the Western Suburbs team would see them leapfrog both Balmain, the Gold Coast and Illawarra. Of course, they've all got to play. When I say leapfrog, they're in the same amount of points as Balmain.
Yeah, both of those three.
Well, they leapfrog Illawarra and the Gold Coast. They're the two sides that are 1 point in front.
So if you're standing adjacent to somebody, how do you leapfrog them? Jump sideways.
They both got pretty tough games this weekend, Illawarra and the Gold Coast, haven't they? Illawarra take on Manly, I think, and
Gold Coast have got Newcastle. And then the top three battle becomes interesting with North with their run home because Newcastle...
Here's trouble for Paul Langmack. Paul, sorry. Clutching at his throat. He's got a trainer to him now. West captain's in trouble. North Sydney leads. Beating Aiken. Taken by Dallas. Trindle comes over the top to clean up. Hudson. Langmack's coming off. Ken McGuinness. Miller. It's on his own 20-metre line. Western Suburbs leading by 6 with 15 to go. Capovella. Georgialis looks for the kick. Andrew Willis, who was standing very deep as the ball receiver, had a mile of time to run before he put that kick in for Matt Sears to bring it back.
tremendous chase there from the Magpies, led by Desi Hasler. A small victory now, and I do think they will go for a field goal if they get an opportunity. It probably won't be Andrew Willis, despite the fact he provided the heroics last year. I think maybe Andrew Leach would be the man they'd look to get in position.
Comrie. Florimo. Whichever way you look at this game, somebody's got to be prepared to congratulate North Sydney for their valour. Long time with only 12 men. Taylor with a sprint up the middle. 6 more tackles. He's ruled that it was knocked out. Quickly for Butner. Millard peels off a big tackle over the top. Hasler went underneath. Now it's away. For Florimo wide. Tries to fend off from Kennedy. Taylor. Running to the defence line. Aiken back for Taylor. Taylor across the 10. Danny Williams. Trindle. He loses it and leads us with it for the black and whites.
Some great defence there right at the death from Western Suburbs. In fact, the players are still down who made the tackle. Kennedy's won. Billy Dunn, he bustled his way across. There's Kennedy and there's Billy knocking the ball out.
Steve Roach, what's the story on Paul Langmack?
Yeah, he copped an elbow in the throat. He just went off for a couple of minutes to get his breath. They reckon he lost his voice. That'd be a hindrance to some, wouldn't it?
Langmack on the sidelines, waiting to come back. Voice and all. Miller. This will be a penalty, and it is. It's against the man lying on the ground, interfering with the play the ball.
There's a last tackle as well. That's an enormous penalty against North Sydney.
David Hall. Well, poor old David. Been on the wrong end of Lady Luck the last 5 minutes or so. But he has given away a rather stupid penalty. As Western Suburbs centre it. Looking probably now for the shot at field goal. Des Hasler, not well. Mesha away for Scandalis. Now they're Just about close enough, you would think. Mesha back for Georgialis. They're coming out wide, away from the upright, so this play will have to take them back there. Kevin McGuinness. One more. Mesha. Andrew Willis. Has one. Then Kennedy. 2 metres out from the line. Leeds is back. He's a mile back. I think the wrong bloke got the football. Now it's gone for Leeds. There goes the shot. McLean goes up. West in front by 7 points as we go to a break. 13-6. Welcome back. Billy Dunn. The Magpies by 7 over the Bears. West out on the 20-metre line. Miller. Or is that Capavilla? I've got news for you. It's neither. Mesha.
His name's Gary Dowse. He's out there in 29. Came on for Millard. Tommy's the man out there with fresh legs to get them home in the last 10.
Langman. Tremendous captain's knock by Paul tonight. Of course, one of the unfortunate parts about all of this is going to be that the glory of Western Suburbs in this probable victory will be lost as we talk about the North Sydney Valor.
Well, I don't think they'll be too concerned about that, Ray. All they came here for was to get 2 competition points and to get them into the top 7. They'll have achieved that. They won't care how it's happened.
Well, they've knocked off some tall poppies here at Campbelltown. Very hard to beat here, especially at night time. They beat Manly here early in the year, their first loss of the year, Manly. They beat the Roosters here. And now it looks like they'll get away with North Sydney.
Fifth tackle near the halfway line. Newton looking to kick, and he does from dummy half. Leads a long run to get underneath it. Smashed into the ground. 32 metres out from his own line. Kevin McGuinness away for Darren Willis. Danny Williams is there.
Just talking about the kicking games, and we saw that one was not a particularly good kick there from Michael Butner, but Andrew Willis, who has kicked very, very well tonight, he's kicked the ball on 15 occasions. That is a lot in one game of football, and we'll probably see another couple in the last 9 minutes here. Jason Taylor only 6 times he's put his foot to the ball, but the 15 kicks from Willis, they've all been pretty intelligent ones and well placed.
Here's Andrew Willis again. McGuinness has been well marked. He did well to get a kick away, but then Nigel Roy brings it back for the Bears. Runs across the park, links up with Taylor. Taylor, he promotes Aiken. Now the young man, he stretches out inside the 30. He's still going. He's gonna make it. He's over the line. Benny Aiken. Tommy blows up. But North Sydney are back with a chance.
Tommy does blow up. They're not out of this game, the Bears. A brilliant pass here from Jason Taylor. Good work from Nigel Roy. McGuinness got the kick in. Tough take from Nigel Roy, but he controlled it. He worked his way across to find some support. And just have a look at the pass that Jason Taylor serves up on a platter for Ben Aiken, who ran a great gap. And he put the speed on. A big fend into Andrew Leeds. Kevin McGuinness. He got there too late, but he did a good job to keep him out wide. We've got a feeling they might be within 1 with 8 to go. What a finish again.
Taylor, 9 in, 21 out. He's going to miss it. Oh, Jason Taylor missing with, for him, probably a simple shot. 13-10, and this was Ben Aiken.
Yeah, look at him go. He's a beautiful runner of the football when he gets into the open. Shades of the Origin, the third Origin game at the stadium. He scored a scorching 40-metre try there. This a 70-metre job, this from Ben Aiken.
It was really good to see him decide to take Leeds on as well. He had a look to see if there was any support in a better position. There wasn't. And you could see he just made his mind up, okay, I'm going to put it all on the line here, and he got a great fend on Andrew Leeds, who was a very good defender and had a good shot at him as well.
Just looking at the tackle count, North Sydney have made 240 tackles. Western Suburbs, 200.
Yeah, for the Bears to have won tonight, you would have thought that they would have to be around the other way.
That missed kick will go against the Bears. Even at 13-12, it wouldn't have surprised me to see North Sydney get down there and maybe put a point over and go for a draw, because even a point at this stage in the premiership table would be a huge advantage to them.
Ooh, Trindle taken by Andrew Willis. It looked a little bit high. Referee was quick to point out that it was around the chest. Matzia's unloading. Reba's pass. Trindle's with it. Got a ball away. Danny Williams comes to the full-back. Put down on the 20-metre line.
They might run it here to the right.
That was a big play in the game. Taylor on the last tackle. Butner, he dropped the ball and got a kick on it. And it goes over the in-touch, in-goal line. 13-10, 5 to go now.
And Danny Williams, he got through, he looked to the left-hand side, the support was to the right, but they did well, Western Suburbs, to scramble and get back for this last tackle raid. Unfortunately for North Sydney and Michael Butner, the kick, it wasn't directed as well as he would have liked. And the West now, nothing silly to get it out of the danger area. They'll work it down and get Andrew Willis or Andrew Leeds in a position to get a big kick down.
John Skandalis doing a tower of strength in the forwards as his team leads by 3. Kennedy. Langmack standing behind the play the ball, talking to them. And that's what's required, some experience. Langmack floats it. Kennedy away from Williams, but held there by Pomeroy. Wide shot. They're 22 out. Andrew Willis. High ball. And the jump. Chance here. A chance for Andrew Willis, but it's gone forward.
And it would seem the correct decision there from Paul McLean tonight. The crowd didn't like it, and it's gone forward off Kevin McGuinness's hands.
Western Suburbs regrouping. Caruana just inside the 30-metre line. I think we're going to read in the newspapers in the aftermath of all of this where North, with injuries, with a forced players from the field and the send-off on Josh Stewart, have probably carried at least one player in their ranks of 12 who shouldn't have been out there. I've just got that question mark on Chris Caruana. He's been subdued. Flolomo's kick is pulled down by Skandalis. 30-metre line, west end of the ground. This incredible club. Rugby leagues, battlers they call them. The fibro. Although Tommy, I think I read the other day, said he'd prefer we dropped off that. But they really know how to put their hands up at semi-final time. Maybe they don't make it, but they certainly provide nuisance value. Played by Hodgson. Hasler runs precariously towards the sideline. Just inside the 30. Andrew Willis in the middle for Georgianos, or in the middle of the ruck. Georgianos is down. McLean saw it. No, the touchy has come in.
Well, it's been a late call. McLean did see this, and I think he was prepared to let it go. Maybe he didn't.
What are you doing? Jason, please. Quiet, please.
Did you not see it? Maybe what?
Jason, quiet for a moment. Can I explain to you? Right? Touch judges had a different view of it than I did. I caught it briefly out the corner of my eye. All right? Out the corner of my eye, he had a better view. Which player was it?
Long after the kick had gone, he'd been taken out.
Bullshit! Give us a go!
Jason, go.
Oh, he's put Jason Taylor in the sin bin. Well, Jason just went too far. And the West get the penalty.
And this is the right decision, just to run the ball out now. No need to kick the goal.
And over the line goes Mesha. Cherry Mesha scores for the Magpies against an 11-man North Sydney unit. At the 78th minute, Siriako Mesha extends the Western Suburbs lead.
A couple of nice dummies there. Not enough troops out there for the Bears, and this may blow the lead out to about 9 points if Leeds can put this conversion over, but that's not an indication of the game we've seen here tonight. Jason Taylor sent to the sin bin for abusive language.
He's had a great game tonight too, Mesha. He came onto the field last week for West just before half-time, and it was 34-0 when he came on, and ended up 14-all the second half. He really did some very good work around the rucks. He's carried that on tonight. Since coming back, of course, he was out for some migraines for a while, quite worrying times for him, but he's over that now, and he's had a great game tonight.
Interesting to know, Jason Taylor has not won at Campbelltown since he left Western Suburbs at the end of '93. He hasn't been successful on this ground since he left 4 years ago. Leeds 2 further points at Western Suburbs, 19-10. The siren will probably sound before they get it back. Western Suburbs waiting to play on. North Sydney heading for the dressing rooms. McLean calls time. And North Sydney finishing the match with 11 players. Their captain in the sin bin, Josh Stewart, sent off after 15 minutes. And in front of 10,250, Western Suburbs have kept their semi-final hopes alive with a 19-10 victory. It included 3 tries. Hodson, McGuinness, that's Kevin McGuinness, and Mesha for the Bears, Butner and Aiken. And a sensation at the end of the game. It went very much against North Sydney, and it put the seal totally on the game for the Magpies. Coach Tom Radonicus, I don't know whether he'd be elated. He knows he's beaten a team of 12 men, but somebody's got to take the 2 points, and the Magpies have done that. So we'll take a break, and then Peter and Paul will come back and wrap up a controversial game, a good game of rugby league, and Steve Roach will probably be frothing at the mouth when he does the man of the match interview.